State Bank of India. What comes to your mind as soon as you hear SBI? Probably their iconic lunch break meme, right? That's because SBI is known for few controversies like electoral bonds, investing in Adani business, customers complaining of poor technology, etc. However, on the positive side, SBI is known for many things. Up until 1955, SBI was the largest private sector bank in India. Now they are the largest public sector bank. When S Bank was collapsing, SBI bailed them out. Today, S Bank is one of the profitable banks in India. SBI was the first to launch dedicated branch for startups. They started in Bangalore. SBI played a major role in sectors like agriculture, small businesses, and housing finance for middle class India. Once struggling to compete with the private banks, today SBI is not just a bank. It is a multinational company with a balance sheet size of 61 trillion rupees. They've expanded to 22,542 branches covering 29 countries. How did SBI become the most influential bank of India? We will look into the initiatives that led to the growth story of SBI. Let's get deep into the rise of SBI in this analysis. The biggest source of revenue for SBI is their loans, earning monthly interest for the loans. Nearly 75% of their revenues come from interests earned. Let's address their story from here. What are the type of loans offered usually by SBI bank branches? Home loans, car loans, personal loans, small business loans, agricultural loans, pension, gold, and educational loans. If we look at this chart from loan growth, you can see a massive difference in the last 3 bars. That is because SBI started getting the growth post 2000s. First 3 bars are not visible because the amount is very small. From 2020, you can see a massive jump, especially in 2024, 32 trillion rupees. Logically, that is the BJP ruling period. Now you know why Adani loves SBI and SBI loves Adani. That's just a joke. I don't want Nirmala Amma calling me for apologies. Actually, the technical reason for that is because SBI used to face losses in the loan category. So they were not able to recover as efficiently as they wanted. So they had to make massive changes in the structure to get these graphs to go in the right direction. While HDFC Bank focused on the corporate companies and their employees, people who have money, that's why their minimum balances are usually higher. But SBI was very clear whom to target. Their target customers were urban poor, agricultural families, rural and remote living people. Basically, SBI went broad for the masses. That's why we see a lot of government salaried employees and even middle class people having their account with SBI. Generally, they either kept less or zero minimum balance in their accounts. The slogan also went with their intention, banker to every Indian. Now, the first massive change happened in the agricultural sector. For farmers, they already had agricultural credit societies. What SBI did was bringing these credit societies and farmer societies together, right? Linking these societies became easier for SBI to process the loans and even recovering these loans. To manage this process, they also recruited officers exclusively for microfinance. This would not only manage the microfinance but also promote the program extensively. The second change was adopting NABARD plan to promote rural credit. SBI brought self-help groups under this initiative. Linking self-help groups made the process better to process the loans especially in the rural areas. The third area was loans for small businesses. To give more focus, SBI started a separate division for handling small businesses and industries. They streamlined an entire process to handle giving loans and also recovering. In the 70s, there was a rapid expansion in SBI and the bank needed to make changes to its organizational structure as well. This is where SBI is different from other public sector companies. The government of India owns 58% shares, but that is just having shares in my opinion. Government doesn't involve in any work process or decisions in the organization. SBI operates under its own legislation. They have full autonomy in their leadership and governance. This helps the bank to make rapid changes in order to get growth. If you know how it works in the corporate companies, they hire consulting firms to bring growth, especially revenue or workplace processes, etc. Similarly, SBI also brought consulting firms to make changes to their company. In the 1970s, they went to IIM Ahmedabad. They came up with a big change in the organizational structure. Trimming the organization size and bringing new work process was a change. So what was happening earlier was local head offices of SBI used to get flooded with workload, right? So they stopped this process and came up with a new flow. So in this new flow, first comes the central board, then comes the circles, and then comes the branches, especially the bigger branches, and then lastly comes the smaller branch. They distributed the workload of local head offices to the circles and then to the branches. After this change, one more benefit they added to this process was, let's say an employee joins a small branch somewhere in rural area, right? He got the opportunity to grow in the organization ladder and even got a chance to go to the head offices. In 1980s, SBI approached KPMG, one of the popular consulting firms. This was mainly to refresh their SOPs, which is standard operating procedure. They use their own template to make sure the documents are accurate and meet the compliance. Before this initiative, all the SOPs were sacked in a few places, especially in Kolkata branch. Now KPMG changed this process and broke into various components and handed them to different offices and branches. This happened in the banking process itself. For example, one branch would do just updating the SOPs. Another branch would do verification job. Then one more bank will finalize the SOP so that it doesn't get stuck in one branch and piles up. In 1990s, SBI went to McKinsey, another global consulting firm. SBI this time wanted another restructuring to their organization. Along with the change, McKinsey came up with SBUs, Strategic Business Units. So basically, these are specially to handle their corporate banking. All current accounts come under these SBUs. One of the biggest changes SBI made was their initiative called Nayi Disha. To manage work-life balance of SBI employees, they did this massive exercise. SBI realized the bank employees lacked motivation in life and many were not leaving the bank on time because of workload. Their work was more of like mechanical work. Come to the bank, take the workload and keep working late hours and even weekends. This definitely affected the productivity and more importantly, how they treat the customers. So they wanted a new Disha, not the girl. It means new path for their work-life balance. Even before this initiative, they had few options already for the employees. Like employees can select the location of transfer if both husband and wife are SBI employees. I always wondered why this initiative. How many couples are coming from SBI? Sounds cinematic. Anyway, let SBI continue their love story. Now let's talk about Nayi Disha. In 2017, they started this and it went on for 3 years. That's a very long HR activity. What are the changes they made in such a long initiative? Let's look at one by one. The first change was working late hours. If employees directly ask their managers, they won't leave, right? So which is normal. But to make it more practical, SBI involved the family members of the employees. If you are late working in the bank, your wife can call the manager and complain about it, which is cool, right? The second is extending the sick leaves of the employees. In addition to that, they added in-laws to the leave policy. Let's say your mother-in-law is sick, you can extend the leaves, not just in-laws. If you have children who have exams and it is crucial for you to be with your children, you can get leaves. They made it as part of the leave policy. While adding all the benefits, they added some conditions as well. See, you and me can criticize the bank, but not the employees. They needed to sign a pledge card and talk only good things about the bank so that they become the brand ambassadors of the bank. Now, the important aspect of Nayi Disha initiative is their trainings. They give special trainings to the employees in all stages. Onboarding and induction systems for the junior recruiters, mandatory e-lessons, evaluation process and certification for completing the training were all part of this initiative. And they did it in stages. I think this was a game changer for SBI's performance. It was also very successful and SBI got global recognition for this activity. They have attempted to do this better than a corporate company. All right, if you're not bored yet, I just have 2 more points. Let's wind this up. One is the technological upgradation. SBI was not late into the technology, but they were not fully invested into digital banking. There is also difficulty in the customer participation, right? Large number of middle class and labor class people having accounts still prefer to go to the banks or ATMs to access money. SBI is putting a lot of efforts into educating their customers to use mobile banking. They've been aggressively promoting their YONO app. The full form of YONO is you only need one for everything. Because they're also promoting all their products in one, like insurance, investments, wealth management, transaction, etc. While promoting their mobile banking, one segment they went all in, which is UPI. First of all, UPI transactions are not high. There are small daily transactions, right? It fits perfectly for the customer base of SBI. If you look at this chart, SBI beats HDFC and all the other banks when it comes to UPI. Not just volume, even in the amount of money transaction, SBI beats. SBI is way ahead. We can say SBI is the king of UPI. They really dominate this segment. To promote all these, last year SBI signed a contract with MS Dhoni as their brand ambassador. Because what is MS Dhoni known for? It is reliability and trustworthy, right? MS Dhoni is there. That means the match is safe. The same positioning is what SBI is also building the brand recall to be. You can trust, and it is a reliable bank to every Indian. I think bringing MS Dhoni is a very big addition to their business. So yeah, basically that's what I wanted to discuss about SBI, which is not a government bank, but a money-making MNC company, in my opinion. What do you think about SBI? Drop in the comments below. And if you like the video, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.